Hello everybody, welcome to the very first video of RantER, and for the topic that I'm going to be covering here in my very first episode, I would like to give a special shout out to Noxy over on Twitter for giving me the recommendation in regards to the topic here. Now, a couple of things to cover. Let's cover these first. I'm sitting in the main menu of Eternal Return because I am recording this literally the morning of a patch note, and after a maintenance has finished, which means all of the replays from the previous patch is not available. I just tried and we can't. So, I don't really have a replay for you guys right now, and we'll just kind of sit with this screen as it is. I mean, they all look beautiful up in the front anyways. So again, a special shout out to Noxy for giving me the idea here, and of course, if you guys saw what it said, we are going to be talking a little bit about the future of Eternal Return Esports, especially after my partnership. Now, if you are unaware about what this partnership means, I am a caster for Eternal Return tournaments. I've been doing that for about a year and a half now. I started back in 2021 April. I've been casting tournaments, whether it's community related or official tournaments during this time. Now, I've also been doing some official English broadcasts for Korean tournaments such as Eternal Return Masters for quite a while now, and recently alongside Circadia, you should also check out his YouTube channel as well. We actually got contracted by Nimble Neuron to do these official English broadcasts more officially. I don't know exactly how to talk about that one, but that's the state that he and I are in right now, and that's what the partnership is talking about. So with this, I do get a little bit more information, of course, to the Korean tournament scene or even the American tournament scene as well. I've been getting those information quite a long time now, even before the partnership here. But maybe I can talk a little bit about what I think is the future of Eternal Return esports without really giving anything away because I can't do that. That's a little bit dangerous, but just a couple of thoughts on what I can do, or just a couple of things that I could tell you guys in regards to my hopes for the future of esports here. So, Eternal Return Esports for a long time, especially on the North American region, or you know what, let's put the North American, EU, and the South American region as a whole and just call it the international region, since of course this is a Korean-based game, we'll just call them the international regions. The tournament scene for international regions for a very, very long time, almost ever since the game's inception, has been mostly community-based, and you can see that with a lot of prominent tournament organizer figures in the past. Like we had Yuki Usada, we even had, I think it was Little Lost Links who used to do some VTuber tournaments. Of course, we had Rabbit House doing his. Oh, man, I'm forgetting the name of those tournaments, but we had Rabbit House doing it a long time ago. We had Ayumi doing it a long time ago. In general, we had a lot of community-based tournaments that were pretty frequent as well. Yuki Usada did it quite often. That's where I got my tournament, the casting start. Ayumi also tried to do it relatively often, but we also have some backstory behind that, if you guys remember all that, which I'm not going to be diving into this video. If you guys want me to talk about it in another video, make sure you guys let me know in the comments, but in general, there has been a ton and a ton of community tournaments in the past. You guys have to give it up to these tournament organizers. They put a lot of effort into those tournaments, and even nowadays as well. I mean, we have I think it was. Oh, I need to search these up. I think it was Clue who's been doing a lot of tournaments recently, and I think there were a couple of other people doing events as well. And I talk about tournaments, but I have to also include events in general too, right? I mean, we have Manta, who's been doing those ranked events recently. Of course, we just had Aquafina doing her charity event as well. So, quite a lot of things happening in the Eternal Return front when it comes to community driven things. Now, up until I would say, up until about maybe half a yearish ago, we started having a lot more involvement from Nimble Neuron in regards to giving the international regions tournaments as much as possible. We of course had stuff back then when it came to like ERCL, we had ERCS, I think it was like the Summer Splash ERCL or something like that. But as soon as Skaz left Nimble Neuron, there's been definitely almost like next to no official events when it comes to the international regions. But as Gen G joined up with Eternal Return, Nimble Neuron for Eternal Return, there has been a lot more events, and they've been trying to push it out as much as possible. Now, for you guys just pretty much get like the bare minimum of information, right? You're just like, oh, this is happening. This is where you sign up. You show up to the tournament. Boom, you do the tournament, and then you get prize pool. For me, though, on the backside of things, there's a lot of like organization things that happens. There's a lot of things when it comes to logistics. There's a lot of things that needs to get confirmed down and pat, especially if you also start bringing in a production team on the side as well, because we need to time a lot of things correctly. A lot of people have given me, kind of feedback in the past, or even like maybe let's just be straightforward here a little bit, complaints in regards to how some tournaments have been ran, whether it's logistically, whether it's statistically, if we want to bring that up as well, or even just the fluidity of the tournaments, whether you talk about, how the tournament itself was ran, or even like the aftermath of the tournaments. I also still see a lot of feedback in regards to that in Discord channels as well. I'm not really going to defend anyone when it comes down to it, but it does take a lot of time, and I genuinely, one, give a big thank you to Genji as well as the tournament organizers over at Nibu Neuron for giving us the opportunities to do this, and for you guys for having the patience to kind of deal with us tournament organizers and staff after the tournament ends, or even during, or even before the tournament begins as well. A little bit of a tangent I went off on, but I think the idea still stands. The tournament scene in Eternal Return is still growing, and okay, a lot of people are gonna kind of give me flack on this one because there's been a lot of a debate in regards to this, but we have to also remember that Eternal Return is still in pre-release. It's not a fully released game, and before you talk about anything, if you guys want me to cover that in another video, I'll do it, but not in this one because I want to talk. I want to focus on the tournament scene here. Nimble Neuron also as well has not put that much resource, in my personal opinion. I don't actually know, of course, in giving international regions as many tournaments as possible after Skaz has left. There was a little bit of effort into it. I actually got contacted a long time ago to try to start something for, I think it was the European region, but that didn't exactly come out too much because there was a lot of transitioning things happening at that point, and it was a little bit difficult to get anything downlocked pat. But now with the introduction of Gen G into the mix, now with the introduction of GMI into the mix, by the way, special shout out to GMI. That guy does work when it comes to international region tournaments. I think the scene is steadily growing. We've definitely learned a lot of things ever since, we had the kind of like the shift from the old times for tournaments with Skaz and the new times with tournaments with the new kind of round of casters that we've been having growing in the Eternal Return scene. And I really do appreciate it. It's just the slowly but surely steady increase in the tournament scene, whether it's all of the topics that I talked about before, the fluidity, the logistical parts, the statistical parts, everything has been steadily getting better and better as we've been doing more and more tournaments. A lot of Eternal Return tournaments will remember that one tournament where it didn't go that well for the weekend. That was a huge stepping curve, a huge stepping stone for us tournament organizers when it comes to the official side of things. And hopefully, you guys have been kind of seeing improvements in compared to the previous event when it comes to how kind of smoothly the tournament has been running, how smoothly everything else has been running as well. A lot of staff in the background puts their time and effort to gather up after tournaments have finished and just kind of discuss things when it comes to what we can improve for the next event, what we can help the players do for the next event. So please give us feedback when it comes to the tournament as well. Future of esports in regards to Eternal Return, I think, is still pretty solid. There's a lot of things that are planned. As far as I know, I don't know the specifics of it, but I do know that there is a lot of things planned for Season 8, at least on the Korean side. Again, my contract and my partnership is specifically with the Korean side of things. I don't know too much about North America, but as far as I'm aware, there's a lot of things planned when it comes to Season 8. Now, I don't know if that's actually going to come to fruition or not. Of course, this is all speculation coming from me according to the information that I personally have so far. Um, so when it comes to the future of esports, I really hope it's looking better and better and better for Eternal Return now that Nimble Neuron is putting a lot more focus compared to before to international region tournaments. I'm very much also hoping that we start branching out into the South American region as well, because that region really needs a lot of love. But for the North American and the European regions, of course, you guys saw events like Eternal Return Arena, where we try to incorporate different regions to kind of join up in a single tournament. I believe we're also going to have. Is it? I think we had a recent event where we had European teams joining in as well. I'm kind of blanking out here for a quick second. I didn't really do too much research in regards to recent events because I didn't realize we'd be coming to this kind of stuff, talking about the future of esports. But, you know, there's a lot of good things on the horizon. Europe's been getting a little bit more events. I'm pretty sure definitely not to their level of expectations, but we're slowly getting there, right? We're slowly starting to incorporate different regions. North America, of course, has been getting official events recently as well. And in general, for casters as well, there has been such an uprising of casters in the Eternal Return scene that wants to either, of course, just start as an amateur or even like start growing into someone who can start doing these official events, someone who can start working with production teams, someone who also has kind of like the back readiness of, whether it's Fuki tech that a lot of us casters use, or even like microphone settings that I've been hearing a lot of people ask me in regards to how to get this correctly set up, even though I don't think my mic is the perfect example when it comes to casting here. In general, the preparation for the future of the esports scene and Eternal Return looks great. I love the way that it's looking so far. Of course, the preparation is a big part of it, but physically making those events happen is a whole different beast in and of itself. A lot of people in Nimble Neuron has been doing a lot of work to try to get these events done, especially again to GMI. He's been putting in hours and hours and hours of work to try to get the tournament scene for the international region just kind of brewing and growing as much as he can. Specifically to the people in Genji as well, a lot of partners who's been working with the Genji members will also kind of know them as well. They've been putting in so much time to try to get these events running as smoothly as possible in the background. A lot of you guys might not know exactly who's running these events from Genji, and there's a reason as to why these events are so smooth, and you got to really thank the people from Genji in regards to that as well. Hey, just a future edit Shuvi here, although that literally doesn't mean anything because I'm doing this pretty much minutes after I finished recording. I completely forgot to talk about Intercollegiate, so let me do that real quick. Intercollegiate has been started. It was kind of formed with the beginning of the Genji X Nimble Neuron partnership. The problem is it's very inconsistent. I think, personally speaking, look at the intercollegiate side, it's a little bit finicky, right? There's a lot of things that can be polished up when it comes down to it, and the intercollegiate tournaments in and of themselves kind of almost, I feel like, function as a whole separate part of kind of like the international tournaments, so I can't exactly talk too much about them without almost, I feel like, having a video separately in and of themselves, even if it might not be as long as this one. So, intercollegiate, cool. The fact that it exists, cool. Can it be polished up? In my opinion, absolutely. There's a lot of improvements that can be done with it, but thanks to the fact that Genji has started up this intercollegiate thing, there's a lot more ways where we can start incorporating official tournaments into the international scene. Okay, back to the video. So, just a little bit of a wrap up. I talked about a lot of tangents and essentially talked about the future of esports in like the past maybe 2-3 minutes, but a lot of stuff compared to the past has gotten better. The future of esports in regards to Eternal Return is getting better and better and better because we are learning from previous experiences and building on top of them as a stepping stone to get to a better tournament scene for you guys. Let's see here. What else can I also talk about here when it comes to the wrap up? Um, A lot of events, hopefully, being set up for Season 8, according to my information again. So you guys can be excited for that for the international regions. Of course, the Korean scene will most likely build on top of the ERM format they did during Season 7. We didn't really have any lower tier tournaments, I think, during the season that actually contributed to the circuit points. But with Season 7 being the first breakthrough with the new format of ERM, they'll probably build on to that during Season 8 as they needed some time getting some like sponsors or even other event organizers to actually start applying for the lower tier tournaments. So maybe we'll start getting more of those things in Season 8 for the KR side of things. Of course, special shout outs to all the tournament staff, whether it's the tournament organizers, the production teams. Special shout out to Wisdom Productions, by the way. Those guys have been amazing to work with in the past couple of months that we've been working together. Scorekeepers, admins, casters, like you guys are doing phenomenal. So special shout outs to you guys. And of course, a special shout outs to the players for making sure that you guys are here on time, letting us know with any of the feedbacks that you guys have. And please, please, please continue to support these events by giving us feedback to make these events better in the future, to make sure that we have the right resources to help you guys out when you guys really need them during tournaments as well. Make sure you guys also support the esports scene in general by always showing up to these events as well. Casters and admins alike, we always love seeing you guys interact in the chat whenever an event is going on. We always like to see you guys talking about it, even if it's outside of the event as well, right? Like in Discord, Twitter, wherever you guys want to start supporting us, please feel free to do so. We always love interacting with you guys as much as possible. I think that should be it for the most part. The future of esports looking very good. I do love where we are going, and hopefully it gets better and better. If you guys have anything else that you guys want to add on to this, if you guys have anything that I could maybe talk about on stream in regards to this video, as like a little bit of, maybe you could do a little bit of like a Q&A session just with some of the people that talked in comments here, and I'll bring it over onto my Twitch channel. Maybe I can upload that Q&A section afterwards as well, if you guys really want to. But other than that, I think that rounds out our first episode for RantER. This was a good time. Hopefully I can bring you guys more content in the future with more and more topics that you guys want to be hearing about in the future as well. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, and thank you guys for watching this video.